I took a DNA test for fun. Now I'm a dad, engaged, and about to rule the universe. Alex never thought a little curiosity would change his life forever. It started on a lazy Sunday morning. He was sitting in his cramped apartment, eating slightly burnt toast and scrolling through his phone when an ad popped up. "Discover your ancestry. Find out your roots today," it said, bright and cheery. Usually, Alex ignored such things, but today something made him click. The website was simple, almost comically so, and for a small fee, they promised a full DNA test kit delivered to his door. "Why not?" he muttered, tossing the idea aside only to catch himself thinking about it again. In less than an hour, he had filled out a form, paid online, and smiled at the absurdity of it all. A DNA test, for fun, that was it. He went back to his toast, unaware that the universe was quietly preparing a very different kind of toast for him. 3 days later, a small white envelope arrived, unmarked except for his name. He held it in his hands, feeling a small thrill. Maybe he was part Viking. Maybe he had a distant relative in some exotic country. He laughed at the thought of being linked to someone famous. Carefully, he tore it open and pulled out a plain card with instructions. "Submit your sample here, wait a few days, and uncover your ancestry." The process was uneventful. Alex followed the instructions, placed a swab in the provided container, sealed it, and dropped it in the mailbox. Then he forgot about it. That evening, he sat down to watch reruns of old space adventure shows, imagining aliens, starships, and strange planets. He chuckled at himself. He would never be part of that universe. Earth was messy, loud, and mundane. Then came the email. Alex nearly choked on his coffee when he read the subject line, "Your results are ready." He stared at the screen, heart thumping as he clicked it. The first few lines were normal enough. Ancestry percentages, distant relatives, common DNA markers. But then the text changed, almost like someone had switched the document mid-sentence. "You are the biological parent of multiple individuals across the galaxy. They require your guidance. Additionally, you are engaged." Alex blinked, then blinked again. He leaned back, spilling coffee on his shirt. He read the words over and over, thinking it was some kind of glitch, a joke, maybe even a hacker prank. But the next thing that happened made him wish he had stopped laughing sooner. A small holographic projection flickered to life above his desk. A woman, glowing faintly with golden light, looked at him with calm, serious eyes. "Alex," she said, her voice smooth and clear, "I am Alara. I am here to escort you to your new responsibilities. Your children await you, and so does your engagement." Alex froze. "Wait," he said, even though his voice sounded tiny. "What children? What engagement?" I don't even know you." Alara tilted her head as if expecting this reaction. "You do not know me, yet your DNA binds you to children across several star systems. Your engagement is part of a diplomatic alliance. Your presence is required." Alex laughed nervously. "This has to be a prank, some kind of insane prank, right? A intergalactic prank." "No prank," Alara said simply. "You will leave in 1 hour." 1 hour. The absurdity of it all hit Alex in waves. He ran around his apartment, grabbing a backpack, tossing in clothes, a toothbrush, a half-eaten sandwich. He imagined telling his neighbor, Mr. Benson, that he was about to leave Earth to meet alien children. Mr. Benson would probably nod, then go back to watering his plants, convinced that Alex had finally lost his mind. The hour passed like a blur. When the transport pod arrived outside his apartment, Alex had no time to think. It was sleek, silver, and humming softly, with a doorway that opened before him as if inviting him into the impossible. He stepped inside, heart pounding, and felt the sensation of weightlessness as the pod lifted off the ground. Inside, the walls projected images of star systems, nebulae, and galaxies far beyond anything Alex had seen. His stomach twisted with excitement and fear. "I'm really doing this," he whispered. "I'm leaving Earth for children I've never met." Alara, standing beside him, smiled faintly. "They are excited to meet you. You will not be alone. You have guidance." "What guidance?" Alex asked. "I don't even know how to, be a dad to humans, let alone aliens." "They are not human," Alara said softly. "But you will learn your strengths, humanity, empathy, creativity. These are needed more than any experience. Do not underestimate your abilities." Alex scoffed. "Humanity, empathy, I'm a man who forgets to water his plants." Alara didn't respond. She only gestured toward a large viewing window. Outside, a planet glowed with green oceans and silver clouds. Smaller lights orbited around it like tiny stars. "That is your destination," she said. Welcome to Luminar Prime. The pod landed with a gentle thud. Alex's knees shook as the doors opened. The planet was breathtaking, vast forests of glowing plants, rivers that shimmered with silver light, and mountains that seemed to float above the ground. Creatures walked on 4 legs, 6 legs, or no legs at all, many with wings or shimmering skin. And then he saw them. Children. Not human children, but small beings with luminous eyes, varied skin tones that shimmered with patterns he couldn't describe, and expressions that were both curious and wary. They ran toward him, some cautiously, others boldly, laughing and speaking in a language he didn't understand. Yet somehow he could feel their intent, excitement, recognition, and longing. Alex froze, unsure how to move. One of the children, a tiny creature with silver skin and glowing blue eyes, stepped forward. "Father," it said, perfectly in his mind, though no words escaped its lips. Father," Alex stammered. He took a step forward, then another. I don't even know how to be a dad to you." "You will learn," another child replied, its voice like a melody in his mind. "You are ours. You are our link to life you cannot yet imagine." Alex sank to a nearby rock, overwhelmed. He held his head in his hands. This is insane, absolutely insane." Alara approached him. "It is your reality, and it is just the beginning. You are engaged, you are a father, and in time you may discover a responsibility that spans worlds." Alex looked up, his mind spinning. Engaged, father. Responsibility across worlds? "I'm just me," he whispered. "I'm just a human, I'm nothing special." "You are human," Alara said, "and that is why you are extraordinary." For the first time, Alex realized the truth. He had always thought humans were ordinary, fragile, limited. But here, faced with beings capable of bending light, reading minds, or reshaping matter, he was still the one they needed. Not because of strength, or technology, or centuries of experience, but because of human qualities, courage, creativity, empathy, and an ability to act when others freeze. The first day on Luminar Prime passed in a blur. Alex tried to feed the children, failed spectacularly, and discovered that some of them didn't eat the way humans did at all. He stumbled over words, tripped over roots glowing faintly in the forest, and accidentally activated one child's ability, causing a small river to swirl into a spiral in midair. "Oops," Alex muttered. "Careful, father," one child said, its eyes wide with amusement. By evening, exhausted and more confused than ever, Alex sat on the edge of a glowing cliff, staring at the twin moons hanging low in the alien sky. The children gathered around, curious but patient. Alara stood behind him, silent. Alex finally whispered, "I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be what I'm supposed to be. I'm just me." Alara stepped closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. "And that is enough. It will be more than enough. Trust yourself. They trust you. And the universe, it has plans you cannot yet see." Alex leaned back, staring at the alien horizon. Somehow he knew she was right. Somehow, in the midst of chaos, fear, and impossibility, he felt a spark of hope. He had taken a DNA test for fun, expecting a small curiosity. Instead, he had discovered an entire galaxy waiting for him. And somehow he would have to rise to the challenge, not as a hero, but as a human. For the first time in his life, Alex laughed, a small, shaky laugh, but genuine. The children echoed it with a chorus of giggles and glowing eyes. The adventure, he realized, was only just beginning. He was a dad. He was engaged, and somehow, against all odds, he was about to meet a universe that needed him. And Alex, ordinary human though he was, decided he would try. The morning on Luminar Prime began with a light unlike anything Alex had ever seen. The sky glimmered with soft hues of violet and gold, and the twin moons cast a pale glow over the glowing forests. Birds, or something like birds, flew in patterns that seemed almost deliberate, leaving trails of light behind them. Alex rubbed his eyes, still unsure if he had slept or simply dreamed the whole thing into existence. The children were already awake, their laughter echoing through the crystalline trees. One of the smaller ones, a creature no taller than Alex's knee, bounced over and tugged at his sleeve. "Father, come, we play learning games," Alex groaned. "Learning games. I don't even know how to play." "You will," another child said, floating slightly above the ground. Its body shimmered like liquid silver. "We will show you. You are our father. It is your duty." Alex sighed and allowed himself to be led. As they walked, he realized that teaching these children might be harder than anything he had ever done. Some of them could manipulate matter. Others could move at incredible speeds. One child, barely taller than a toddler, had eyes that glowed green and could read his thoughts before he even spoke. Alex realized very quickly that ordinary parenting techniques would not work here. The children gathered in a clearing, forming a circle around Alex. "We begin with understanding," Alara said from nearby, watching him carefully. "They will test you. You must remain calm and patient. They are intelligent beyond what you imagine." Alex blinked. "Intelligent, they're kids." Alara gave a small, unreadable smile. "Yes. But your children are not like human children. They are fragments of life from multiple worlds. You will learn as you go." The first test came immediately. A small child with golden skin and wings like a dragonfly hovered in front of Alex. "Father," it said softly, "we will play a game of shapes." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Shapes like blocks." The child's wings fluttered, sending a breeze that made Alex stumble backward. Suddenly, floating shapes of light appeared in the air, triangles, spheres, and cubes, moving and spinning in patterns. "Arrange them to make a safe path," the child said. "We must learn to navigate together." Alex stared at the shapes, panic rising. He had never been good at puzzles, let alone one involving floating light shapes and children who could anticipate his moves. Slowly, he reached out, using trial and error, moving a triangle here, a sphere there. One child whispered advice in his mind, another nudged him toward a solution. By the end, he had formed a pathway. The children clapped, their glowing eyes bright with approval. "You see," Alara said, "human creativity is your advantage. You find solutions we cannot predict. You adapt." Alex felt a spark of pride. Maybe he could do this. Maybe he could learn. The rest of the day was a whirlwind of lessons, games, and surprises. He discovered that some children could bend light to form illusions, while others could control gravity in small bursts. Alex made mistakes constantly, nearly stepping into a floating pool of water that the children had shaped into a spinning spiral, spilling his own lunch into the air, and accidentally activating a child's power to rearrange a small grove of trees. But each time he learned something new, adapting in ways that no alien could. By mid-afternoon, Alex was exhausted. His arms ached from carrying children who could float but insisted on being held anyway, and his head spun from processing alien languages, gestures, and thoughts all at once. Yet despite the chaos, he felt something stirring inside him, a sense of connection, a spark of pride, and a strange joy. During a break, he sat on a glowing rock, watching the children play among the silver streams. Alara joined him quietly. "You are doing well," she said. Alex shook his head. "I don't feel like I am. I nearly broke the floating tree twice and spilled everything. I have no idea what I'm doing." "You are human," she replied softly. "That is enough. Your patience, your mistakes, your ability to think and feel, these are what make you the right father for them. You learn, you try, you care. That is your power." Alex sighed, staring at the sky. "Power, I'm just me." Alara placed a hand on his shoulder. "You are more than just you here. They need you in ways you do not yet understand, and there are others who will notice. Others who will see what humans can do, what you can do, and challenge you." Alex frowned. "Others who?" Alara did not answer immediately. Instead, she gestured to a nearby ridge where movement caught his eye. Several figures watched them from a distance. Tall, armored, and clearly alien, their expressions were sharp, calculating. Alex felt a chill. Who are they?" "They are representatives from a rival faction," Alara explained. "They have been monitoring the children. They understand that you, a human, are the key to something far greater. They are curious, cautious, and potentially dangerous." Alex swallowed. "So I'm what? A target now? Perhaps," Alara said simply. "Or perhaps a bridge. The universe will decide based on your choices." The words sank into Alex's mind like stones in water. He had come here thinking it would be a fun adventure, maybe learn something about ancestry, and now he was parenting alien children, engaged in a political alliance he barely understood, and potentially standing at the center of interstellar conflict. As the day turned to evening, Alex gathered the children near a calm, glowing pond. He tried to teach them simple games, tag, hide and seek, but quickly realized that ordinary games were impossible. One child vanished completely and reappeared on a floating boulder, laughing. Another created a small, swirling vortex of light, which threatened to suck up their toys. Yet, despite the chaos, Alex laughed. The children's joy was infectious, and for a moment, the impossibility of the day melted away. "Father," a small voice said, drawing his attention, "will you stay with us forever?" Alex felt a lump in his throat. He had spent so much of his life thinking he was ordinary, replaceable, unimportant. And here these children looked at him as someone vital, essential, a parent. I will try, he said softly. You will do more than try, Alara said from behind, her eyes serious. You will succeed because you are human. That night, Alex slept little. The alien sky outside his temporary shelter glittered with stars he could not name. He thought about the children, about their powers, and about the strange engagement he barely understood. He worried about failing them, about failing the responsibilities he had not yet earned. And yet, beneath the worry, there was a spark of determination he had never felt before. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the fastest or the most intelligent in measurable ways. But humans adapted. Humans cared. Humans improvised. And for the first time, Alex realized that these traits, ordinary in daily life on Earth, were extraordinary in the wider universe. The next morning, Alara brought news that shook him even further. "The Council wishes to meet you," she said. "Your role extends beyond fatherhood. There are decisions to be made about alliances, about the future of star systems. You must understand your place." Alex blinked. "All of this, me?" "Yes," she said. "Because humans can do what others cannot. You think, you feel, you adapt. That is why you were chosen, or perhaps why fate found you. Either way, your journey has only begun." Alex felt his stomach twist. He had taken a DNA test for fun. He had expected curiosity, maybe a laugh, maybe some distant relatives in Earth history. He had not expected to become a father to alien children, to be engaged to a galactic diplomat, to face political intrigue spanning star systems. And yet somehow he felt ready. Not because he was strong or clever or specially trained, but because he was human. That afternoon, Alex began lessons in diplomacy, guided by Alara. He learned about customs, traditions, and the delicate balance between factions. The children watched, sometimes interrupting with questions or showing off their abilities, but gradually Alex began to feel that he could manage this. At one point, a child with translucent skin and glowing veins drifted to him, whispering in his mind, "Do not fear. We are with you, you are our father, you are enough." Alex felt tears prick at his eyes. He had never been confident in himself, never thought of himself as extraordinary. And now, floating among alien forests with children who trusted him completely, he realized something fundamental. Being human was more than enough. It could be everything. By the end of the second day, Alex felt a strange pride. He had survived minor crises, taught and learned with the children, and even impressed Alara, who rarely showed approval so openly. He knew challenges lay ahead, rival factions, political intrigue, dangers he could not yet imagine. But for the first time in his life, Alex believed in something. He believed in himself. He believed in humanity. And most importantly, he believed that somehow he could rise to the impossible challenges waiting beyond the horizon of Luminar Prime. The next morning, Alex woke to a sky that seemed sharper, brighter, almost like it was trying to warn him. Luminar Prime was breathtaking, but the beauty felt almost dangerous now, knowing that rival factions were watching, waiting. Alara appeared beside him, her usual calm expression betraying a hint of urgency. "Alex," she said, "today the Council wishes to see you. They will test your judgment. They will test your humanity. Are you ready?" Alex rubbed his eyes. Ready? He had barely survived 2 days of parenting alien children, learning a new language of thought and understanding powers he could not imagine. Ready seemed impossible. Yet deep inside, he knew that running away was not an option. "I'll try," he said. "I don't know if it will be enough, but I'll try." Alara nodded. "That is exactly what humans do, try, and sometimes trying is enough." The council chambers were massive, far beyond anything Alex had imagined. Towers of crystal rose from the ground, refracting the sunlight in rainbow patterns. Alien figures of every size, shape, and color gathered around a glowing platform in the center. Some had multiple limbs, some floated without touching the ground, and others radiated energy that made the air shimmer. Alex felt tiny. He felt ordinary, but he reminded himself of what Alara had said: humans adapt, humans survive, humans thrive. He stepped onto the platform. Silence fell over the room, and Alex felt every eye, every form, every gaze upon him. Then, the council began speaking not in words, but in impressions, thoughts, and images transmitted directly to his mind. "You are human," one said, the voice deep and resonant. "Yet you are chosen. Why should we trust you with the children and with influence across systems?" Alex swallowed hard. He had no experience in politics, no formal training, and no knowledge of alien customs beyond what Alara had taught him. But he remembered the children, their trust, their laughter, and their faith in him. Because I will do what humans do best, Alex thought, projecting the words carefully. I will care, I will learn, I will adapt. I may make mistakes, but I will always try to protect those who cannot protect themselves. A ripple went through the council. Alex could feel their surprise. Humans did not usually speak in this way, with empathy and honesty. The words themselves carried no threat, no trickery, no hidden agendas. They were simple, raw, human truth. Another council member, a being with translucent skin and eyes like liquid silver, projected an image of destruction, planets burning, alliances collapsing, and children in danger. If you fail, it said silently, this is what happens. Alex's chest tightened. Fear and anger mixed together. Then I will not fail, he thought fiercely. I will do whatever it takes to protect my children and the families who rely on me. I may be human, but I will rise to this challenge. The council did not reply immediately. They seemed to examine him, probing his mind, testing his resolve. Then, slowly, the images of destruction faded, replaced by visions of hope, worlds working together, alien species cooperating, children laughing safely. You speak truth, a third member said, their voice melodic and calm. You show potential, but potential alone is not enough. Can you act when threatened? Can you lead when chaos surrounds you? Alex took a deep breath. I may not have experience, but I have something more. I have adaptability, empathy, creativity. I can see possibilities others cannot. I can find solutions others do not expect. I am human, and humans survive in impossible situations. The council seemed to deliberate silently. Alex felt the weight of their judgment, heavier than any gravity he had experienced. Then, one by one, the alien figures stepped back, leaving him alone on the platform. A voice, the leader of the council, massive and glowing like a star, finally spoke. You will be given responsibility. Your children will remain in your care. You will be trained in diplomacy and strategy. But beware, there are those who do not wish you to succeed. Others will challenge your humanity and test your leadership. Alex nodded. He felt a strange mixture of pride and fear. Pride because the council had acknowledged his worth. Fear because he knew the challenges ahead would be greater than anything he had faced. Alara guided him back to the children, who had been waiting anxiously outside. They clustered around him, asking questions, touching him, their trust unshakable. Alex hugged them all, feeling their warmth and energy. He realized that no matter what the council demanded, no matter what enemies waited, he had already faced something greater, the responsibility of caring for beings who relied entirely on him. The following days were a whirlwind. Alex learned to navigate the complexities of alien politics, negotiating with factions he barely understood. He watched as rival species tested his patience, trying to provoke reactions, manipulate him, or undermine his authority. But Alex discovered that being human gave him an unexpected edge. Where aliens relied on strength, logic, or intimidation, Alex relied on unpredictability, empathy, and creativity. In one council meeting, representatives from a militaristic faction accused him of being unprepared, suggesting that a human could never handle the responsibilities of the children or the interstellar alliances. Alex responded calmly, smiling faintly. Perhaps you are right. I am human. I do not have centuries of experience. I cannot manipulate matter with a thought. But I have something you do not. I care, I adapt, I learn, and I will find a way to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The room fell silent. Aliens exchanged glances. They were used to threats, aggression, and superiority displays. They were not used to honesty, humility, and determination combined. And slowly, Alex saw their expressions shift from doubt to curiosity, even admiration. At the same time, Alex continued his work with the children. They challenged him constantly, but he learned to guide them, to understand their abilities, and to find ways to combine their powers. One child could bend light to create illusions, another could manipulate gravity, and together they could form a protective barrier or solve complex problems. Alex discovered that, by listening and observing, he could coordinate them in ways that even the most experienced alien strategists had not considered. One evening, after a long day of council meetings and lessons, Alex sat with the children near a silver lake. He was tired, his mind spinning with politics, strategies, and the weight of responsibility. Yet the children seemed undeterred. They played, experimented with their powers, and shared small, glowing stories in images and thoughts. "You are good," one child whispered. "You understand us, you protect us, you will not fail." Alex smiled softly, the exhaustion and fear momentarily lifted. "I hope I can always be good enough," he thought, more to himself than to them. Alara joined him silently, watching the scene. "You are doing well," she said. "But challenges will grow. There are those who will not accept your authority, who will try to test your limits. Your children will be your strength, and your humanity will be your shield." Alex nodded. "I'll do my best," he said simply. The very next day, the first real threat arrived. Scouts from a rival faction approached the planet under the guise of diplomacy, but quickly revealed their intentions. They tried subtle intimidation, testing the limits of Alex's patience and the children's obedience. One attempted to kidnap a child, thinking it would force Alex into submission. Alex acted instinctively. He coordinated the children, guiding them to create distractions, illusions, and protective barriers. The would-be kidnapper found themselves surrounded, disoriented by lights, gravity shifts, and unexpected tricks. Alex, using a combination of clever thinking and sheer luck, managed to trap the intruder without causing harm. The council received word of his actions. There was astonishment. A human had protected alien children from a skilled faction using not strength, but ingenuity, care, and coordination. Alex had demonstrated the unique advantage of humanity: unpredictability, empathy, and adaptability. For the first time, Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. The weight of responsibility was still there, pressing on him like gravity, but he also felt capable. The children were safe. The rival factions had learned that he was not to be underestimated. And he had begun to see that being human was not a weakness in this galaxy, but a power unlike any other. That night, Alex stood on a cliff, looking at the glowing moons and the shimmering forests below. He thought about the council, the children, and the challenges yet to come. The universe was vast, complex, and dangerous, but he felt a spark of confidence he had never known. He had taken a DNA test for fun. He had expected curiosity, maybe a laugh, maybe some distant connections on Earth. Instead, he had discovered children who relied on him, an engagement that tied him to alien diplomacy, and a galaxy that now recognized his potential. Alex smiled. For the first time, he felt like he could truly rise to the challenge. He was human. He was a father. And he was beginning to understand that being human in a galaxy of extraordinary beings could be the greatest advantage of all. And though danger, intrigue, and challenges awaited, Alex was ready to face them. Not because he was perfect, not because he was the strongest, but because he was human, and humans always found a way.